is something okay. Okay, all right. Are we all set now?
So,
Okay, it is 5:31, and I'm calling this meeting to order. First, a reminder that meetings of the Select Board are meetings conducted in public. They are not meetings of the public. Nonetheless, members of the public shall be afforded reasonable opportunities to express opinions about matters conducted by the Select Board, so long as order is maintained. The rules for public comment are, at the conclusion of a Select Board discussion on an agenda item, but before any action is taken, there may be 10 minutes afforded to public comment. Comments made by the public must be addressed to the chair, to the Select Board as a whole, and not to any individual members of the Select Board or members of the public. Members of the public must be acknowledged by the chair before speaking. If a member of the public has already spoken on a topic, they shall not be recognized again until others have first been given the opportunity to comment. Order and decorum shall be maintained throughout the meeting. Personal, impertinent, threatening, or profane remarks will not be tolerated. For those who are participating via Zoom, please note that chat is not an appropriate avenue for public comment. All public comments must be made verbally when acknowledged by the chair. Please silence all cell phones, and a reminder to all that this meeting is being recorded and may appear on the internet. So are there any adjustments to the order of the agenda?
I have none.
Anybody else have any? Select Board comments or remarks? Does anybody on the Select Board have any comments or remarks? I have two. One is to thank Peg for an expert chairing of our last meeting. Thank you for doing that. I watched the meeting. You did an excellent job. And, thank you for that. And the other one is that today was the last day to get petitions in for elected positions. And so these are the people who are going to appear on the 2025 annual town meeting ballot. Select Board for 3 years is Eric McGowan. Select Board for 2 years is Logan Sears and Rebecca Beck-Slattery. Lister for a 3-year is Jordy Heller. Moderator for 1 year is Margaret Meg Mott. Cemetery Commissioner for a 3-year is Jonathan Johnson. Cemetery Commissioner for a 2-year is Lindley Spears. Cemetery Commissioner 1 for a 1 year is Gail Whites, and I want to give a special shout out to the people who are running for Cemetery Commission because we've been short on that for a while. So that's what I had to say. There's also, there's more. For the Wyndham Southeast School District, WSESD, Board of Candidates is Brattleboro for a 3-year term is Matthew Shibley. Dummerston for a 3-year term is Deborah Stanford. Dummerston for a 1-year term is Jessica Everlith. Guilford for a 3-year term is Jocelyn Fritz, and in Putney there are no seats up for election. Okay, now we're done with all that stuff. Next up is Selectboard Old Business. First is the town meeting warning. Draft 5, review and approval.
It's actually the final, but
It's the final because we have to get it done
today,
or else
right.
we meet again tomorrow.
So the only thing, I met with Larry Slice, legal counsel, and we discussed town warning. I thought we had put that to bed. But after discussing fund balance and the appropriate way to allocate surplus funds, or rainy day funds, or emergency funds, we now have 2 new articles. So Article 7 and Article 8 have been added to this warning. And basically what it does, it establishes a Select Board unrestricted reserve fund to be used for unanticipated expenditures and revenue shortfalls during the course of a fiscal year as may be needed by economic downturns, natural disasters, and other unforeseen circumstances. So that fund balance, the unrestricted fund balance I was talking to you about for $557,000 plus, that's what this is this fund will establish that we can move that money in there. Select board will have the authority and the power to use it as they see
Okay.
fit, according to the policy. Article 8 is.
Hold on, Peg has a
I have
question.
a question. It says during the course of the fiscal year, is that just for one fiscal year? And we'll have to vote on this again next year, or
No, so,
it's for any fiscal year?
yes, moving forward.
Okay.
Yep. So Article 8 reads, shall the voters of the town of Putney authorize the transfer of $438,105 from unrestricted year-end surplus to the Select Board Unrestricted Reserve Fund. Article 8 shall not be considered unless Article 7 is approved. So basically, you're gonna establish this fund. Because we shouldn't be carrying over unrestricted fund balance, and the only place we have it is in the general fund, so the highway is all restricted. So this will set a protocol.
Okay. Any questions about that?
Well, I expressed mild reservations before when this came up, and I'm still feeling somewhat the same, is that we've got a lot of funds that have significant money in them, and funds that are relevant to what we would need to spend money on if there were a catastrophe of some sort. And it occurred to me that another way to approach this is to simply put this, catastrophic use language into some of those funds. I mean, as you correctly point out, they're restricted funds, but if we amended those reserve funds to say, in the event of a catastrophe, we could tap this, we wouldn't have to create such a large extra pool of money in order to be catastrophe protected. I'm a little, particularly with the way money is right now, I mean, that's a heck of a lot of money to just tie up in now on top of what's already tied up. So I have some reservations about it. I'd really like to sit down and go through what the terms of all the restrictions are and see where there are places we might loosen things up. I'm assuming, because of what we went through with the sidewalk maintenance, that if we wanted to change any of those, it would have to be a vote of the town meeting. So we probably can't do it this year anyway.
Many of them anyway, yeah.
We get the terms of the restrictions on the reserve funds. We can't just snap our
Right,
fingers
you
and
can't.
do it.
Right.
The town meeting can do it, but we can't do it.
Right.
But I think it's worth really looking hard at it and seeing if we're basically double insuring with this money, whether there isn't money there that's available and relevant that would be, germane to being spent on a catastrophe. I'd really like to go through all of these reserve funds with you.
We can do that. That can be a goal for the next coming year. There are different funds, and I don't really want to get into it tonight, but we can sit and talk about it and then look at certain things. And because right now, that is a large amount of money, but
Sure is.
we built that over the years, Fletcher.
Yeah, but even so, it's still a large amount of money in terms of just tying up money that might be better spent elsewhere. Do we really need to tie that amount of money up, or do we have other sources of funding that could equally protect us in a catastrophe?
It's not just a catastrophe, it's, offsetting taxes. It's,
Well, if we put money back into the budget like we're doing now, yeah, we offset taxes, but that fund sitting there giggling at us isn't offsetting any taxes at all. It's only if there's a surplus that gets then put back into the budget.
right, that's a longer conversation down the road, and we can figure that out.
This amount is the amount that the auditor recommended that we keep as a 90-day supply.
So here's Larry's comment. He read the fund policy. 12% is good. 24 is, aggressive. 30 is way too much.
Okay.
So this is 24%.
I'm
Of
sure,
our-
I'm sure there's different, yeah, I'm sure there's
Of
different
our-
philosophies. And,
Right,
How
of
much?
our operating budget right now,
Okay.
the one we're in,
Mhm.
okay?
Yeah, since we can't do anything about this now for this annual meeting, let's put it on our agenda for the future.
As a goal, sure. Okay. Any other comments on those two articles? Do we want, how do you want to go? Do you want, well, we have to vote on this. Do we want to read it?
Has there been any other changes since the
No.
last time we read it?
So everybody's comfortable with the rest of it? Yeah? Are there any comments or concerns in the room about the 2025 town warning we are about to vote on?
So you just took those two out?
What's that?
The 7th and 8th are not gonna be the articles anymore?
Just add-
No, there's,
we just
they're
added
in.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There's 18 articles total. Are there any comments or questions online? Okay, then can I hear a motion to approve the 2025 warning for the 2025 annual meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 2025 warning for annual meeting for the town of Putney. Any further discussion among the board? Any questions, comments in the room? Any comments online? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Got that done under the wire. Okay, so the next one is FY 2026 operating budgets review and approval. Aren't these backwards? We're changing these, don't we have to go back to the article?
They are backwards.
Oh, well, all right. Go ahead.
So the sewer fund budget, the only change I made was, underneath sewer expense, general fund assessment, I raised that, by $7,150. And then it increased the user fees, but that's the only change here. And I did the same in the water fund budget. So water expense, the very last line item, I increased that by $2,250, which increases the user fees. And I did that because Kim spends a lot of time doing water billing. Every month she's sending out notices, every quarter she's doing billing, so that takes time. And then she's receiving payments as well, and that's coming out of town management, general fund budget. So I'm
You're
doing,
putting it in here.
I'm putting it in here, because the fees are gonna go up,
Yeah,
so I'm doing this now.
okay.
So those are the only two changes with those two budgets.
Does anybody have any questions about the water or the sewer fund budgets? Highway?
No changes to the highway. It's a level funded budget.
I could not make the highway budget numbers work. I kept coming down to the bottom line, really. Adding up each of the subtotals, I came up short. It wasn't coming up to the 1,338,921. I kept coming up with 1,106,193. And I don't know what I'm leaving out, where I've done it, I put it all into an Excel spreadsheet. And I keep getting this discrepancy, I don't know what I'm leaving out, so I don't know if you.
Well, I can't really tell you what you're leaving out without seeing your spreadsheet, for one.
Well, it's the same, it's all the same line items and numbers as on this. Except when I come down to the end and I'm adding up all of those
What's-
subtotal lines.
What's the date on that report you're looking at?
This one is January 26th.
Hmm. Well, I'm not sure I have time to figure it out. Is Kim in there? She's not, is she? She's
Yeah,
not.
so that-
So I would have to sit here and like add these up, Fletcher.
Well, is there something that doesn't appear on this that's going into the
Can I
account?
see that? And maybe I can,
What's- What you sent me this morning.
well, I didn't send you this morning. Yesterday, maybe?
Possibly, I might not have turned on my computer till this morning.
So 1338, 921. 353. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, okay.
14. 175. 304. 273. 35. 12. 102. 6. Okay, so I just went through and everything matches. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe you missed a couple sections, maybe?
That's what I thought. I've been going back and forth over it all day.
So you're telling me you're 232,000 off.
Yeah.
Now, you were looking at that very last column, right? The budget
Yeah.
FY '26?
Yeah, the FY
Yeah.
2026.
So NEMRIC does all the additions, and this matches that report right there.
Excel's pretty good at addition too, but,
Yeah, I'm just thinking there was some lines missed in your spreadsheet.
I know, that's what I thought too. That's why I went back and forth over this.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything on this that wasn't in my report, my spreadsheet.
When I add all of these up, I get 1,338,921.
Right.
So,
So I'm
Not
good
sure.
with this,
okay,
and Kim, she checks all the numbers too, like, she, yeah.
And you just total the same
I
amount?
just totaled the same amount. So I'm not sure.
So Fletcher, I would like to see your spreadsheet, and I could probably
Okay,
find it right away.
you want to do that now?
Is that your spreadsheet?
No.
I got the same
Oh, okay.
words what's on here.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That was more than yours.
No. Just to double check on those subtotals.
Um, I would say we could move on, but I know, Eileen, you're gonna be out of here at a certain time,
I
right?
need to leave, I need to go pick up my kid at 6:40.
218. Yeah, looks like you might be missing some line items. Or not. I don't really wanna spend time doing this right now.
I'm not sure this is the right time to do this.
Yeah,
If
I
it turns
think-
out it's really is wrong, we can amend it at
Yeah,
town meeting.
yeah. I mean, that's a big number, Fletcher, but,
Yeah,
I mean, I'll look at it after, but I just don't wanna sit here looking at that.
Okay,
So everyone else is pretty much good with, highway?
yeah,
Alright, general fund. So I asked select board, to give me a week, he gave me a few days to, revisit general fund budget, because I was not comfortable with it. And my intent was to, reduce it by 100,000. In your packet, there is the general fund with all the changes that were made over the weekend. And I have reduced the general fund budget by $155,892, which puts us in a better position with the tax rate. So the tax rate will go down 1 penny instead of going up 3 cents. I am comfortable with this budget the way it sits. And I also want to let the select board know that we are still in the process of appeals. So this is a very lean budget for me, and things may happen, but we'll see where we go. But with the reappraisal, with the appeals, with potentially other revenue coming in, I'm confident we can make this budget work for 1 year. For 1 year,
1 year's all we can plan for.
yeah. And I know there's some unknowns, Peg, and we can work around them. I have a backup plan. So we're gonna have to give it a little time this year. Because the grand list already dropped from August, when we first lodged the grand list. It went down by the end of December, and I had to make another readjustment because of that
So
grand
it went
list
down about
dropping.
About a penny
It was a penny,
for the tax rate.
yes.
drop
It would
caused
drop.
by
Yeah. Appeals.
appeals that change
Yes.
valuations.
Yeah.
Yes,
And we have, 4 or 5
4 or 5.
appeals pending.
And 2 may see litigation.
Yeah.
Which if we litigate too, it can be from $10,000 to $50,000, so.
Right, depending on how long it drags on, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So establishing that reserve fund at town meeting for situations like that is
Yeah.
going to be good.
I'm comfortable with it if you are.
I am. It's lean, but we've done it before. I've seen the highway department move away from borrowing to buy equipment and have a good reserve fund right now.
Okay. Any
I'd
questions
like
or
$500,000.
comments on the board about the general fund?
No.
Do we have to vote on it since we already voted on the warning?
I would like you to just approve them or accept them
Okay.
as,
That's good to go.
yeah.
Are there comments online about any of the budgets that we just went through? Sewer, water, highway, and general fund? Anybody in the room? Okay, then can I hear a motion to accept the budgets as presented?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve, to accept the budgets as presented. Further discussion on the board?
As I say, I have reservations about the highway numbers, but I'll vote in favor of it, subject to those reservations and the assurance that we can fix them if they, either I get fixed or they get fixed.
Right.
That's-
Yeah, I mean, if the numbers truly are not correct, then we can make an amendment at town meeting. I've seen that happen before. All right, any other comments? Okay, then hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, did that. Next up is public comments on items not on the agenda. Anybody in the room? Anybody online? Going once, going twice. Okay. Our next meeting, I did want to ask if we wanted to set up some kind of informational section for the budget and possibly specifically the local option tax and the solar.
We can do that at the next meeting, right, on the 5th? Give you some,
Yeah, I guess we could do it then. I was thinking it might, maybe like a Saturday or just as an additional
yeah.
time for people to come and hear about what is on the warrant. Ask any questions that we can.
22nd might be
Be prepared
good, because
for.
that's just before.
February 22nd.
When does this all get mailed out?
Town reports are just about done, they're going to the printer tomorrow. And then, we'll get a draft, and the printer will be mailing them direct to Putney residents.
So what's your sense of when they'll hit mailboxes?
They have to be, to people by, well, it takes a week, so by the 14th, they should be going out. So the week of the 17th usually is when they're in the mail.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking something a bit informal, but maybe possibly involving Meg as well, just
Yeah.
having like a bit of a town hall meeting kind of thing.
Right.
And somebody's gonna make cupcakes. Pizza.
Sushi again.
And sushi.
Yeah, sushi was
Yeah.
good.
All right, do we need an executive session?
I don't.
Anybody need an executive session? Okay. Then our next meeting date, regularly scheduled meeting date is February 5th, 2025, unless it's 2023 for some reason. Whew. At 5:30 at the town hall and on Zoom. Can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a
So-
motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thanks, everyone. Oh my gosh, my hands are so
Did you
full.
guys have anything to say?